Welcome back to Great Day. Whether it's something passed down from your family or you picked it up from a friend, we all have some quirky things we do for good fortune or to ward off bad mojo. Actors, athletes, and sports fans are all famous for it. Tennis icon Serena Williams wears the same pair of socks for an entire tournament, believing it brings her success. Don't know if she washes those in between sets. Our next guest always buys a blueberry muffin for good luck before boarding a plane. He's the author of the Encyclopedia of Curious Rituals and Superstitions. And he joins us to take a deeper dive into the fascinating history and justification for why we do the things we do. Good morning, Arie Kaplan.
Hi, great to see you. Thank you.
Great to see you as well. Okay, so growing up, your mom and grandma were always superstitious. What do you remember about that?
Well, I remember that they had this medallion that they would hang around the house on walls as a piece of hanging art. And it was shaped like a hand with an eye in the center. And I just took it to mean that, well, that's what all families have. But what I eventually realized is that's called a kamsa, and it's to protect against the evil eye. And it's something that's very common in Jewish communities, which I'm Jewish, and it's also very common in Muslim communities as well.
Yeah. In fact, this has become so popular. You see it now, not only in wall hangings and home decor, but a lot of jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, all of that is very popular right now. All right. When it comes to rituals and superstitions, there are some roots that make total sense. If you look at it, for example, psychologically, stemming from fears and desire to control things that we couldn't understand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and I did a lot of research on this. It's been proven that psychologically, people cling to these superstitions as a way of, like you said, gaining control over a world that feels random and chaotic. And it actually does help them. Like if you have a good luck charm with you at a job interview, you actually might do better because it makes you more confident.
Yeah, all right. And the other thing is that placebo effect, that maybe somebody did something one time and the outcome was great. So they go, oh, let's do it again. The odds were they were going to have a good outcome several times. But what happens the more it happens that there's a good outcome, the more people associate it with the action versus just the fact that it was going to be a good outcome. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then there's levels of superstition increase in times of stress. It's another study that was done during an economic crisis, wars. That's kind of interesting too.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it makes sense. You know, a lot of these ancient cultures where these superstitions were first developed came from the idea that life seems so random. We don't know what's going to happen at any moment. It's not like they had access to modern medicine or modern science. And so, for example, this evil eye superstition developed because kids were getting sick in a lot of these communities. And so a lot of folks thought, well, there must be an evil eye looking at these kids and making them grow ill. They didn't realize that it's just because kids are more susceptible than adults to various illnesses.
Yeah, I love that you wrote this book because there are so many things that we do that we never stop to think, why do we do those? Like, you look at wedding ceremonies and stuff. So why do we do this? And why is there something borrowed, something blue? Why is there a ring involved? I'm not complaining about that part, but we do them without understanding or questioning why. So I'm glad that you wrote this book, The Encyclopedia of Curious Rituals and Superstitions, and you made it fun to read.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and that's the thing. One of the big portions of the book deals with the fact that so many things that we wouldn't even think were superstitions used to be superstitions. Like you said, a lot of wedding rituals, like putting a veil over the bride's face, that is actually meant to, in ancient cultures, that was meant to hide the bride from demons and ghosts so that they wouldn't attack her.
Wow. All right. Okay. You know, this book is going to be so great when the holidays come up because at the cocktail party, I'm going to be the smartest person in the room. And I'll be like, did you know? All right. Let's go through some of the lucky rituals and symbols. One of them I mentioned earlier, knocking on wood.
Yeah. So knocking on wood actually comes to us from ancient Ireland, where people believed that there were fairies in trees, that they used the trees as a home. And so they would knock on the wood to sort of stir the fairies, to wake them up and depend on them for good luck. That's where that comes from.
All right. When people have spilled salt at the table, they'll take a pinch and throw it over their left shoulder.
Yeah. So salt was considered very valuable in a lot of ancient societies. In Rome, legionnaires got paid insult. That was called a salarium, which is where our word salary comes from.
Mm.
And so throwing salt over your shoulder is supposed to take this good luck symbol and sort of throw it over your shoulder. It's something that's considered uh, close to prosperity and wealth, because, of course, like I said, in ancient times, it was thought to be a very good thing, a very lucky thing.
All right. And then there is the I'm looking over a four-leaf clover.
Yeah. So four-leaf clovers, it's not exactly known exactly where the good luck of four-leaf clovers comes from, but they do look a lot like a cross, and so it's thought to be something that in older Christian societies was thought to be something that's very positive, that's very good.
All right. And then there's those bad luck actions and symbols that a lot of people associate with. One is walking under a ladder. I never thought to walk under a ladder anyway, but why is that something that's bad luck?
This is interesting. This comes to us from ancient Egypt. And the reason you're not supposed to walk under a ladder is because in ancient Egypt, things that were triangular shaped were thought to be very sacred. And so, like, for example, of course, the ultimate example in ancient Egypt is the pyramids. But so anything that was considered shaped kind of like a pyramid was you just don't defile that space. You don't, there could be uh, spirits, ghosts in that space. And so if you're walking through uh, a ladder and walking under a ladder and it makes sort of a triangle shape when it's propped up against a wall, let's say, you're walking through a pyramid, you're walking through a triangle. This is very bad.
Oh, all right. Then opening the umbrella indoors.
That also comes to us from ancient Egypt, oddly enough. A lot of people think that this superstition is because of the rain, but actually it's not. It's because of the other purpose that there is for an umbrella, which is to shield you from the rays of the sun. In ancient Egypt, the sun was very important. The sun god Ra was one of their most powerful deities. And so when the upper classes were using umbrellas to shield against the rays of the sun, that was okay to do when you were outside. But when you're inside, well, you don't need to do it. You're unnecessarily doing it. And so this could offend the god Ra. This could cause bad things to happen to you.
Okay. This time of year, we pay more attention to that thing called the black cat. They're just little black cats. Why do people look at them like they're bad?
This is so cool because, like, okay, in ancient societies like China and Egypt, cats were thought of as very positive symbol. You know, there's even a cat god, Bast, in ancient Egypt. However, what started to happen during the Black Plague is people saw cats, and specifically black cats, around quite a lot, and they thought that the cats were spreading the plague. Here's what they didn't know, because they didn't have access to modern medical science, that the cats were just there because they were chasing the mice and rats who were actually the ones who were spreading the plague.
So
And
good to have a
so
cat
this is
around.
very unfair to cats. Cats got blamed for this.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
continued.
And the cats were actually the best pesticide people, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Numbers are another one that we associate a lot of things with. You know, we have our lucky seven, and then we have, 3, the Holy Trinity, and then 13, to the point where a lot of buildings that have, 13 floors or more will not list number 13. They'll just go from 12 to 14.
Yeah, and I did a lot of research on this one as well. This is fascinating. Even today, in our very rational scientific society, over 80% of the buildings in the Western world do not have a 13th floor because of this, because it's considered an unlucky number. And if you want to know where this comes from, it's ancient Norway, the ancient Norse gods specifically. There is a story where Loki, the mischief-making god, crashed a party that only was supposed to be for 12 guests, and he was the 13th guest. And his interference in the party led directly to the death of one of the most beloved gods.
Yeah.
And so that's why 13 is considered unlucky.
There's another 13th dinner guest that was considered unlucky too, called Judas at the Last Supper. All right.
Yes.
Right. I saw the movie The Omen, and I remember they looked in the top of that man's head, and there were the numbers 666.
Yes. This comes from where in a lot of societies the number 6 is considered an unlucky number, and so if you have 3 of them, that like triples that.
There you go. All right, I want to end with, why did you decide that you had to have a muffin before boarding every plane?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Hey, maybe this will catch on. Maybe I won't be the only one. I won't feel so weird. But basically, what happened was for a long time, because I do a lot of public speaking in other states and countries even, and for a while before I would get on a plane, waiting for the flight, and yeah, oh look, there's a blueberry muffin. I'll have that with me on the plane. It's, satisfy my hunger pangs. Airplane food often isn't very good, But what I realized after a while is, oh, I'm doing this to ease my anxiety about this speaking engagement. Oh my God, I'm doing this for the exact same reason people do other superstitions. Because you know what? Eating the blueberry muffin before a speaking gig is totally a superstition because it's something I'm using to ease my anxiety, and I'm using it as a good luck symbol.
Bingo,
So
and I totally understand because I would always get a chocolate turtle. So
yeah.
actually,
Oh, that's good. I gotta try that.
See, I got chocolate turtle. I thought if I get the chocolate turtle, this is gonna be a safe flight. Actually, it's just an excuse to get a chocolate turtle. But anyway,
Exactly.
All right, thank
Exactly.
you so much. It's so interesting. It's because I love that you did all the research for us. And again, I mentioned you made it fun to read, easy for people to repeat those facts. Because when you're out and about, you're gonna see somebody do one of these, and you can stop and say, "Do you know why you did that?" Or where that comes from. So it's really cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, the Encyclopedia of Curious Rituals and Superstitions by Arie Kaplan is available now everywhere books are sold. For more information, visit greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you.